Hey everybody, it's Pastor Vern for December 2nd, 2020. It's a Wednesday. And as we continue along in our Advent season, we've kind of got that going. So we're going to kind of move into continue on to some of our Advent stuff. I wanted to lift up to you that we will have worship in all our locations again starting December 6th, and we'll see how that goes. Everything is fluid at this point. We just kind of have to take whatever information we have and try to make decisions that are responsible. Um, that's kind of our best guesses as how things are going right now. Um, we're still looking at trying to do some kind of New Year's Eve service or New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve services. And we'll be continuing to work on that as we go forward. They're probably not going to be quite as traditional as they could be sometimes, and if we have to go to an alternative, we'll figure that out. Okay, so that's kind of where we are right now in our journey, I guess you would say. And continuing on Advent. Advent, of course, as we are in the midst of Advent. This year, it's running from the 29th of November until, of course, Christmas. And so we know that it varies a little bit from year to year, depending on how the calendar falls. But that's the way we are this year. And we've talked a little bit already about some of the things that have to do with the Advent uh, traditions, the Advent wreaths, and so on. We're going to keep doing a little bit of that also. And we know we're talking about colors today a little bit. Um, we know that green and red are typically kind of Christmas colors. We kind of associate that with this time of year in probably as much in our secular um, celebrations that more so than our church celebrations, even though they still we still have that as part of our traditions. Probably to take note that the altar cloths up until Christmas Eve are purple. That's the season we're in. But you know, leading up to December 25th in the church, it's all about kind of the purple or violets. You know, the candles that we have in Advent wreath are usually violet or purple. Some churches have used blue, some use all violet. Sometimes we have a pink one also as part of the celebration. And there's some that even use blue candles, completely blue candles. It depends on some of the theological background of your denomination and your church. Actually, as we look into the churches, the four churches that are currently part of our parish, there is some differences between the Advent wreaths with the colors and so on, but they're all appropriate. Um, the purple should represent the Christians this time of year. Of course, it's a royal color that we use for Christ, but also it represents fasting and this self-denial that we are looking at to prepare ourselves for Christ's return. Fasting was and we talked about that a little bit before. Fasting was a very important part of the Advent season in the beginning. And it has some connotations yet today with that purple and the fasting is that the fasting is you use that time and resources that you would use for whatever you're fasting from in order to get closer to God and to help out your fellow man. I'm going to talk a little bit about the pink candle later in um one of the other times that we talk about Advent stuff. One of the things that we kind of know is that the Advent candles also represent hope, and the second one is either faith or love. It's kind of a depending on which tradition you're from. The third one, joy, and the fourth one, peace. And it also has some connotation with who they represent in the nativity story or what they represent. We're going to talk about that later on also. So that's kind of where we are today on the colors and the Advent wreath and the colors of the season. Um, Actually, there's one thing that is not a tradition in our church that has been in a lot of places is that the pastors often wear some may wear violet or purple robes prior to Christmas. That's not something we use in our tradition, and I very seldom wear a robe, just not fit who I am. Uh, but that's another thing that we probably should note, that if you happen to visit another congregation, another church, um, maybe during another Advent season, not so much this year with the way things are working out, you'll be able to kind of spot these little bit of differences and nuances in the celebration of Advent. All right. Well, you guys take good care of yourselves. Watch out for each other the best you can and stay safe.